Hi, everyone. Welcome to our fourth Digital Live of 2026. I'm Lale Walker, one of the field managers here at the Digital Summer Clinic, also joined by Zach, another one of our field managers. And we're excited to introduce our guest today. We have Natalie Fang, who is one of our current mentors here at the Digital Summer Clinic. So, everyone, welcome, Natalie.
Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have Natalie here today. We're just going to ask her some questions to get to know her better. And so all of our viewers can get to know her better too, because if you're interested in applying for the clinic this summer, she's going to be a mentor. You're going to see her a lot. And we just want to get everybody to kind of know who she is. And if you have any questions for Natalie, feel free right now to drop them in the chat. We will answer them in the Q&A part at the end. So to kick things off, Natalie, can you just give us a little bit about your experience as a professional?
Yeah. So I have quite a few career changes throughout my professional career. I first started in product development, working in bigger retail brands, so including Target and then Vera Bradley. Then I transitioned to be an entrepreneur, founder myself. That's where I came to Michigan in Ann Arbor. I came here to get my MBA at Ross. And then I stayed here and I've absolutely loved the community here, how entrepreneurial and how just everyone's a really tight-knit community around here and just helping each other out. And there's just so many exciting things happening in Southeast Michigan. And so, yeah, and I also, on top of that, then I transitioned over as well outside of the entrepreneur hat I have on. I also lecture at the School of Information at the university. So I've gotten to know lots of brilliant students through that other facet that I do for my professional career.
Thanks for sharing that, Natalie. One of my favorite things to hear about people is when they have different career changes or just exploring different realms, because people think you have to stick with one thing for the rest of your life, but that's not true. You can always pivot. So thank you for that. So we just have a couple questions lined up to not only help us, but also our listeners get to know you a little bit more. So our first question for you is, when and how did you first become a mentor at the Digital Summer Clinic, and what has been your favorite experience so far?
Yeah, so the Digital Summer Clinic is very dear to my heart because actually before I became a mentor, I first participated in it as one of the client companies. So we participated in 2 different years, have met amazing interns that way, very brilliant, and they made really great, impactful campaigns for us and like changes. So that's how I got to know the Digital Summer Clinic. And then around, I think a year and a half later in 2024, then I became a mentor. So now I'm on the other side and I can help students. And so I see a lot of students from, again, like the University of Michigan as well. But then what I really enjoy is I am able to hopefully give students advice, interns advice from the viewpoint of one of the founders, having been a part of the clinic as a client. I think the second question was, what's my favorite experience? I absolutely love being able to see interns thrive, and especially so many interns getting placed in really cool internships even after the clinic, or like full-time positions. And so I've seen quite a few interns doing cool stuff with like the startups. They get return offers, and I see them downtown. So it's always really nice when I walk into my office, because I work at Ann Arbor Spark, or work out of Ann Arbor Spark in downtown, and occasionally I'll see former Digital Summer Clinic interns. So it's really nice to see people thrive after the program.
That's really cool. And I think one of like the main things that all the interns say is they just love helping students kind of launch their career. And for you guys to just see that they continue to like do great things, that's awesome. So moving into our second question, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but with like your professional, your company was affiliated with the Digital Summer Clinic. You had like interns and stuff. So I kind of want to like hear what they did for your company as well. And just like, can you tell us a little bit about how like your professional experience or personal growth, or like how have you grown like by being a mentor, like professionally, personally, like the whole, and how has your company grown as well in those like times where you had interns?
Yeah, so the first bit was what did our interns work on when my company was a client? They did so many things. They did social media campaigns, they came up with marketing strategies. We have one intern who also wanted to be in game development. So my startup is making video games for female gamers, and she was interested in video game development. So even though like our project with the clinic was about marketing campaigns, she went above and beyond and like she wanted to do more work. And so she ended up helping us write some of the content in our games. So we actually published some of the stuff that she worked on. So it was really cool just to see all the creative ideas that she had. So that's some of the things that we've worked on with our interns through the clinic. The second question was about growth, right? So in terms of my growth as a mentor, I think it's just learning from all the creative fields that our interns have and like all the great experiences. We take so many different students, majors, people with really impressive backgrounds. I think what's really interesting is sort of like my career where I've pivoted, right? A lot of some of the interns are also in that kind of transition where they have these cool experiences, whether it's from college, extracurriculars, part-time jobs, and how can we take those skills to do really cool things, right? And so that's been really exciting for me to see and like grow, is just learn of all the cool things that people are doing. Especially, I think like Zach, like we had very long conversations about the things you do, like with your YouTube channel before, and I constantly learn from you because of that. And so I really do enjoy getting to know our interns, like outside of just, all the work that we do and hearing all the cool projects that everyone's working on.
Natalie, I think you highlighted a good point about the digital summer clinic and how it kind of separates itself from other internships where you let one of your interns, take a heavy role in writing out some of the scripts or stories for your gaming. Unlike other internships, interns really have a lot of flexibility with what they can do and how they can make an impact. So thank you for sharing that. So our third question for you is, what's one piece of advice you always give to your interns and why does it stick with you?
Yeah, I think from again having experience like on the founder side, and especially since all the clients are founders and like some of the business are still trying to figure out what they're doing, right? And that's why the interns are so helpful. My advice I typically give is like we have a motto: fail fast, and like please do fail fast. Like be as proactive as possible. Don't wait for just the founder to tell you exactly what to do. Like if you have an idea, pitch that idea, run with it. If there's something that an intern wants to try out, I encourage them, like, go for it if you're interested in getting that skill set, right? Or just having some experience in doing something. If you're seeing a gap that's happening in the business or like you think something can be improved upon, that's what the founders want. And like that's what's going to help the interns have really great experiences that they can share later on about how they led something, how they brought something because they were proactive and weren't scared and just, pushing themselves to do that. Again, like fail fast, right? This is entrepreneurship. These are startups. It's an internship. So nothing ever really bad is going to happen, right? Everyone's learning together. And that's what the program is here for too, because it's so structured with the mentors. We have the weekly sessions with our cohorts. And so the interns can have like a safe zone where they come ask questions, ask advice, hear about what other people are doing, right? So it's a great opportunity that you're not only just working on your client project, but you hear about all the other cool client projects. And hopefully that gives the interns ideas and like to, take a really cool project on or suggest something and be proactive.
And that's great because internships can definitely feel nerve-wracking. So it's nice to know that people have someone that they can share the experience with while they're going through it. So we finally made it to our Q&A session. So if anyone would like to ask a question, leave it in the chat. But I have a question for you, Natalie. So how has being a professor at the University of Michigan been?
Yeah, it's great. So I because I'm in the video game industry, I feel like I have to keep up with the lingo and all the cool things that are happening. I'm a little bit on the older side, and so being able to be in the academic area and work with younger people has been also helpful for my business, right? For my startup Nochi, because we are reaching out to younger consumers, and we're also reaching out to like millennials as well, and some older customers too. But like for video games, digital marketing is so important. Social media is so important. Streaming is so important, right? So it's really important for me to keep up with the tools, the trends, what people are consuming these days. So one, I really enjoy getting to know students. Students have so many cool projects that they're working on outside of academics, right? And just so many skills. Like I had a student once who was doing like woodworking, and they're like beautiful, beautiful woodworking. But you know, outside of that, it's like it helps me stay in the loop of all the things that are happening.
Beautiful. And then we actually do have a question in the chat from Jonna Paul, and it's, what is the most rewarding aspect being a mentor within the digital summer clinic? Good question.
Definitely the relationships. You never know, right? Especially since you're part of a cohort and there's like programming around it, right? That's what's unique about this internship versus just like you finding your own internship and just you're sort of by yourself, right? Unless it's a very big company and they have like structure and training and things like that. I think it's also the same thing on the mentor side. Like we're also networking with you all, right? You all are going to do really cool things in the future, and I want to see what everyone does and stay in touch. Sometimes like, you know, these relationships that you nurture, like they can help you in the future. So for me, like the same way that like we encourage all of our students and interns to network with each other and network with their clients, network with us, like we're also networking with you all. So it's been really great getting to know so many cool people and seeing like what everyone does afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry, Lala.
No. All you.
No, I really agree with that. It's great on both sides. We have a lot of questions coming in, so I'm just gonna like. Okay, so we have a question from Noor here. I want to hear Natalie's perspective, and then I even want to give advice for this one too. One piece of advice for potential interns when applying for the digital summer clinic.
Think about the skills that you have that makes you unique. So like even if you haven't done something like specifically for digital marketing, likely you have some kind of skill that's related. So it might be analyzing something, right? It might be creating something. It might be doing something completely from scratch with no direction, right? So think of those skill sets and like the things that the clinic is looking for, founders are looking for their projects, right? And tell your story that way. Tell your story of how, demonstrate how you exhibit those skills and show what you bring to the table. So again, like all sorts of unique experiences. You all heard from my experience, how I've pivoted from industry to industry, right? And like the pivots have happened because I have skills that I can easily say like analytics is going to be important no matter where we go. So yeah, think about your skills and then think about the packaging of how you want to tell that story.
Absolutely. And how do you do that? Well, if you go to our website and go to the apply tab, you're going to see this statement of purpose. That is where you get to say all of that. You get to write that all out. There's no word count, but it limits you to probably 1 or 2 paragraphs. I'd say around 200, 250 words is the sweet spot. Nail your story. Take what you have on your resume and bring it to life. And just like get to know us at like job fairs and just network, and that's how you kind of get in basically. And our final question, Sufyan is asking to share with us a successful story from the clinic.
Yeah, so it's no secret that the industry is really tough. The job market is really tough right now. But I feel like a lot of interns have been able to find opportunities and super great. One particular person, I actually knew them as a graduate student at the School of Information. They came in and they absolutely killed it. They they asked good questions in the cohort meetings, right? They connected with their partner. They really leaned in on their project and connected with their client. Now, their immediate client wasn't hiring at that time. But because they did so phenomenally well, their client's partner ended up loving them and then found them a position at another startup. And now she's also and looking at other positions and other opportunities that have come up because everything's just networked together, right? One like performance will lead to people saying really great things about you, leading to connections, leading to, soft conversations of like, hey, let me introduce you to someone. And I think that's typically what happens with the internships, that people end up finding really cool experiences because of that. So it's really cool to see her thrive. And she's doing some really cool stuff right now and like really helping on the investment side of that startup. So yeah, that was very cool for me to see.
Yes, and thank you. And hopefully we get to hear more success stories from some more of our interns in the future. So before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you, Natalie, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And big thanks to Natalie. And it was great having you on. So be sure to stay up to date with our digital lives. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. You guys all found us tonight. You can find us again, but that's where we're at. And next Monday, we will have a very special guest. We will have the Dean of the College of Business on at Eastern Michigan. So we're super excited for that. February 9th, 5:30 p.m. So we'll see everybody there. Have a good night, everybody.